Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Surya. Thanks for clicking. In my last video, I discussed my thoughts on Indigo Park. I stated that it has some issues, but isn't a bad game, and that it has qualities that make it enjoyable to the point where I liked playing the game and was left with a positive experience overall. I personally think the 2D animation is so well made and looks like something from an official brand, and the characters are actually pretty neat. I'm not big fans of them or anything. They all look kinda 6 to 7 out of 10. I think it's just me. I'm sorry. But I ended up getting invested to where I'm looking forward to Chapter 2. I wasn't planning to talk about this game again. Didn't have any ideas in mind, so I decided to search for a different subject. But then I heard this name multiple times. Theft King. A name that, while I don't mind too much, is a name that makes some people shiver or quake in their bootsies. A name of someone so down horrendous, of unpopular opinions, that he basically swims in drama. This is Theft King, a figure known mostly within the Five Nights at Freddy's community for his, shall we say, unique opinions. Remember the whole Lady Fizzy situation? Yeah, well, while everyone was hating on her for making a pedo comic to the point where Scott let her go, Theft King actually said, "We should still feel bad since a popular creator is gone." I wasn't too bothered by this opinion personally, barely knew any of these people in the situation other than Scott at the time, but I know that the Theft got steamrolled into the ground from it, and people would make videos talking about his trash takes. I mean, I never got bothered by them much personally, and I always thought his analog videos were actually kinda cool. He's definitely got a voice that works for the genre, so he's alright in my book. Oh my gosh, never in my life have I ever wanted to strangle the life out of someone with my bare hands! That's crazy! Hold on. I need to perform an act of justice real quick. Alright everybody, thank you so much for 800,000 subscribers! I deserve to be here! But in all seriousness, I was just a little annoyed. I mean, yeah, he made 8 minutes of absolute bullshit, but remember, people are entitled to their own opinions. Especially when they are wrong. So when I heard that he left a terrible review on Indigo Park, as he calls it, a double ripoff on the thumbnail, I tried to meditate as the fires of hatred fumed inside me like me when I eat a max level spicy ramen in the restroom. So what I chose to end up doing is that since you're watching this right now, is that I sat down and watched his video. The upcoming segment is going to be me typing the script live after every time I pause. So this should be interesting to edit, to say the least. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can hit 10K subscribers before the end of the year. And like the video so that it can be reached out to more people. You alone can indeed make a difference. So now on to the bit. Playing the video in 3, 2, 1.
Indigo Park is the least original mascot horror game ever made.
Wow, only 4 seconds in and I already paused. Oh, this is gonna be a long video, brother. The least original, huh? You know this dog shit exists, right? I have spoken.
Between the tired, cliched premise of returning to an abandoned children's establishment, the enemy designs, the unnervingly cute mascot character, and multiple sequences that appear to be lifted directly from Poppy Playtime, you'd think that this was just another Garden of Banban-esque cash-in, and in a lot of ways, it kind of is.
Hello, police. Yeah, I think there's like a clinically insane danger to society on the loose, and he has way too many subs for his own good. Bro thinks he's hot shit or something. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, sub to me instead. Now, could you explain to me how a game could be a cash grab if it's free and doesn't have the merch store plugged in at the title screen? Now, I know I'm not a super genius or anything. I was a heavy sleeper in math and science. I can barely know how to do this first grader level shit. I'm 20 years old. Solve this question without just writing the answer. Okay, so you crossed out the numbers in this version, right? But even I can tell that the aspects of something that makes a game a cash grab being absent from the game doesn't make it a cash grab! There's like no official plushies or anything for this game last I checked. Don't compare this game to Banban. It actually has a lot of soul and passion behind it, and I would appreciate it if you would not over-slander something to that degree ever again. Good? Okay? Okay. The video continues as he explains the premise of the game, and he says Rambley the raccoon is the best part of the game. Oh shoot, he's actually right about that, my bad.
Congratulations! I'm Rambley the raccoon, and it's my job to make sure your experience here at Indigo Park is the most fun it can be. Just hop on over to the registration center to your left, where our friendly assistant will help you begin your adventure in the park.
Rambley, I have some bad news for you. There are already 20 entries for you on the furry porn website. I am not joking.
Nope, he's not wrong about that either. I checked for research purposes. Alright, let's see how bad it is. Okay, so I'm gonna type Rambley the Raccoon. Okay. I think that's how you spell its name. I'm pretty sure that's how his name is spelled. We're gonna type that. Okay, click images. Alright, oh, okay, this all looks fine. I'm not seeing anything too, okay, alright. He expresses that Rambley has great dialogue and amazing voice acting and animation, but he expresses that the chapter leans on him too much, as he gets too much focus. I actually don't mind this opinion. I can definitely see it, even though I don't mind, but we'll talk about that later, as he explains this further down. He explains the game further until he calls the critter cuff in this game a Fazwatch. I mean, do you see the horrible graphic cameras on there? Of course not. Don't even have a screen, dummy.
Park and enter the Critter Corner, where we're given a Fazwatch from FNAF Security Breach.
Your very own critter cuff, a new way to interact with the park that also doubles as a pedometer, heart monitor, and mood ring.
It's useless. It's just a plot device to justify why some doors don't open until they need to.
He says it's just a plot device that opens some doors. And actually, that's a pretty fair point. It literally does nothing else. I have spoken. What do you mean I already used that joke? So what? I just like the Mandalorian. What do you mean season 3 with ass? Oh no, you don't get to hang up on me. Fight me like a man, you coward! Fuck!
Isn't it that Minecraft YouTuber who like did bad stuff?
I actually don't know who he's talking about, but this video is getting long, so just tell me in the comments, please. He continues explaining the game, nothing to see here. Watch my video for a breakdown of the actual game story, link in the description.
Hey there, Lloyd.
Do not shame me with that common folk name. I am the proud, the prestigious, the professional Lloyd Lion.
Yeah.
Actor extraordinaire.
It's the Minecraft YouTuber who got in trouble.
Seriously, who is he talking about?
After the train ride, Rambley basically gives us carte blanche to go wherever we want, though it's at this point that I notice the game's scaling. You know, the size of everything relative to your character. It's really weird.
We are very short. I have to be perfectly honest. We are very short. This is something I've started paying attention to as a 3D animator. Like, we are rather short. When was the last time you walked up to a kiosk, a stand, and your chin was like touching the table?
Okay, that is something I actually didn't notice. I don't really play games like that, so I just don't notice these things, but now that I look at it, it is rather bizarre. I don't know why Ed says he went there when he was younger, yet his chin reaches the desk. I got no words for that.
Next area is probably the most visually striking in the game, a large fountain square with a strange clock tower and Ferris wheel in the distance. It's pretty cool, but there's a lot of empty skybox visible, and it's fairly obvious that there's absolutely nothing beyond these buildings that we can see. The illusion that this is actually outside is completely broken, and as a result, this area feels more like a soundstage or movie set than an actual place. It just needed a lot more low-resolution buildings and rides and stuff in the distance, because it's obvious that behind this clock tower is just an endless void.
This is a point that doesn't really bother me as well. My standards are low, so it probably doesn't matter, but what I want to say is that while yes, they could have easily put buildings there, I just think the reason why they didn't do it is because they wanted to save time, and also it wouldn't work. In the beginning cutscene, the game shows us that we enter a forest to get to the park. So there wouldn't really be a bunch of buildings if they wanted this to be somewhat realistic to the premise. Also, trees can be any type of height, so don't say you can't see trees. They probably are there and are just small. And no, the stuff you see outside the park isn't valid. You aren't supposed to go there. You donut of a man.
Alright, oh god, it's the Minecraft YouTuber. This ain't good. Getting flashbacks.
You know what? I give up trying to ask. Skipping to the next rant.
Check out the LODs on this box. There's no barcode, barcode. No barcode, barcode.
Indigo Park is made in Unreal Engine 5, and it's really pretty at times, though certain effects are obviously pretty janky.
Yeah, the flashlight kind of looks like ass. The flashlight lumen shadows are janky. You can see them kind of wobbling and flickering around.
I turned on all of the fancy features, and while the game looks really moody and atmospheric when lights aren't moving, the flashlight doesn't really work well with it. The shadows flicker and jiggle all over the place, and it just looks really bad.
Lumen is being Lumen right here. This is, okay.
He makes a fair point about this bit, but after seeing stuff like this happen in many games in my time, that I literally just don't care.
Earlier, Rambley asked us where we wanted to go first, implying that we had a choice.
So where do you want to go?
I don't know, dude. I just got here, bro.
We don't. We gotta go exactly where Rambley says, always. That's the name of the game. Rambley tells you to go somewhere and you do it.
I mean, just because a character says you can do something doesn't mean you can actually do it. And yeah, I get that a reoccurring theme throughout the game, the whole thing can be boring sometimes, but Rambley is legit the only thing you can interact with at the park that doesn't want to kill you so far, so I don't think we're allowed to be too picky in that department. He keeps breaking the game down and he describes how lame the landing pad section is, but I already know it's lame. Everything he says in this bit is a little true. So fast forwarding again to the chase of the chapter.
Yo. Do we win? Look at this Junior's ass death screen. That is one Junior's ass death screen if I've ever seen one. Which is fine. Junior's death screens are great. You Adam are the greatest.
Yeah, it's literally the Dog Day sequence from Poppy Playtime. It's literally the same thing. I criticized the Dog Day chase in Chapter 3 for being boring.
That chase was not boring! It was one of the best parts of Chapter 3! What are you saying? Okay, I'm getting heated. I just need to chill in the Murder Drone subreddit for a bit. What the fuck? He says that this chase is just copying Dog Day and Huggies from Poppy Playtime. But not many games cover vents, so it's not really an overdone mascot horror trope yet. It will be, though. It will be. And it doesn't matter if the Molly chase and Dog Day chase look similar. They have two entirely different contexts despite in both times you're being chased. It doesn't matter if it looks similar. The ways they are executed make the difference. And I think it was handled okay in their respective games. The Dog Day one is better though.
We got it. We got the secret.
That was when it hit me. Despite Indigo Park being the definition of a shallow walking simulator that is in many ways even less original than Garden of Banban.
Did I mention that I hate this guy?
I was still enjoying it, but only thanks to Rambley. Rambley carries this game. Without him and his great dialogue and acting, Indigo Park would be entirely forgettable. For all of Banban's faults, the game at least has this unique, bizarre, liminal style to it, even if it is completely incoherent. Indigo Park's environments are generic. They're boring. There are some cool rooms and set pieces, but this doesn't really feel like an abandoned theme park. Like I said before, it feels like a soundstage. This is the video game equivalent to those haunted house rides that shepherd you through a series of rooms as scripted sequences play predictably each time. Rambley is the only thing that keeps you playing because he's great, but the longer that Indigo Park goes on, the more and more obvious it becomes that he's a massive crutch that it leans on to mask the lack of any real substantive gameplay.
I would be lying if I said he's completely wrong in this last bit, because he isn't. Despite a lot of his thoughts on the game being made based on careless oversights, he makes a valid point in this last part especially, because personally, I do not find Indigo Park's gameplay alone that interesting. I love the ability of exploring the theme park and witnessing its set pieces for the first time, but when everything is explored, I don't really have incentive to keep playing. There's almost no lore secrets that can be found other than the collectibles, and the gameplay is very bare bones. The Critter Cuff does nothing but open doors, and the other option is to just simply walk around. The things that make this game fun is what you interact with, as those things clearly were given the most thought. But I hope in a future installment, Indigo Park should expand and add some variety to the gameplay, so it can be more fun to overall interact with. Now, what do I think about Theft King's review on Indigo Park? At the bottom line, we can both say that we liked it, but for different reasons. I liked it because of the environment, the collectible aspect, Rambley, and the things you can discover by playing the game, but Theft King just cares for Rambley, and I can see why, as I would understand if Rambley were to be the only thing people would be excited for the next chapter, as he was in fact by far the most entertaining part of the game. And I do feel like he shows up too much, and it shows that he is pretty leaned on. I don't have a problem with that, or the story or the structure of the chapter, because my standards are low, okay? But everyone isn't me, so I can see why there is a cross block in that regard. Overall, I hate his opinions, especially the ones at the start of the video, because he's calling something that doesn't have cash grab qualities and has way more effort than Banban a cash grab Banban ripoff. These opinions are so wrong for many reasons, and it annoys me hearing him say those things, and it is highly insensitive and insulting to the people who worked on this game. Unique Geese is the kind of guy who wanted to make a genuinely good mascot horror game, and even though I think it has issues as well, I think he still succeeded in that regard. This is the only first chapter after all, so we shouldn't be so heavily quick to judge and just wait to see, just in case if Chapter 2 learns from its feedback and proves Theft King more wrong than he was with Bendy. Okay, maybe not, this opinion was a sin, it literally makes me want to strangle him and bury him in the dirt, but regardless, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. This video turned out pretty long, but I'm glad I could get it out for you people in time. Take care now, love y'all.